Hello guys, in this particular session we will be looking into the impact that the technology has on society and their multifaceted dimensions. The topic here is that I have already written as technology and impact on society. So we will start with now in society I will be looking and delving into different dimensions. They will include women, then they will include elderly, then they will include disabled, then tribals, then finally children. So this would be my entire point of discussion. Children. Okay, so impact of technology on women, elderly, disabled, tribals and children. So I will firstly delve them very quickly, the positives and the negatives that they're creating into the society. So let's start with women first. So let's do it. So I am writing here women. Now I will be making the positives of it and negative of it. Let me write it into the center so it gives a balanced view. So let it is a women and the technology that is creating positives and negatives on women. So the first positive that the technology is doing on women is that it has increased the access to education and job opportunities. So firstly is access. It has increased the access for what? Education and job opportunities. How it has increased access to education? Because of various digital platforms like PM eVidya portal, Diksha portal, through which one can access the education and also the job like work from home. So these have been there. Then secondly, they have also promoted greater accessibility to healthcare information. Healthcare information. So greater accessibility to healthcare information. So with this they would be able to maintain their health better, and it is through telemedicine and health apps. So these are the two good benefit. Third benefit is they are also giving the platform for networking, collaboration and advocacy. So it is giving the platform. So platform includes the three broader dimension. It gives you a networking idea. They can better network with other person. They can also promote better collaboration in different direction. You can think in terms of job opportunities, in terms of some research work or some gig work, and it also promote the overall empowerment. Okay, then it also gives you one very important, it is flexibility, because it was one of the prime reason why women could not opt for this, and along with it that it has also improved the safety aspect, because now they could work from home, or there are various digital applications through which one can track their position, and we also have the video call facility. So with these things it is possible to engage in a better way, and we can remember some of the government schemes in particular, like we have Swayam portal and Swayam Prabha are to promote education to women. They are like 24/7 DTH services. Swayam Prabha. Okay, so DTH services. So these are some of the benefits to the women. Now we shall look into the challenges that the digital media is creating. So even though the technology is creating a positive sphere of women, there are certain challenges. The first big challenges is they are still underrepresented in various sectors. Underrepresented and especially where the technological fields are there. So there's a kind of a discrimination which is there. Women are not particularly being appointed first in those particular areas. Then there are issue of cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is quite common and quite increasing these days, and trolling, cyberbullying, trolling. Then you have digital harassment. Digital harassment. Digital harassment, how it happens? It is through stalking. Through stalking. Okay. Then there's also a kind of a threat to their privacy. So privacy concerns are already there, because privacy is critical to dignified life, as has been pointed by Supreme Court in the K.S. Puttaswamy judgment. So K.S. Puttaswamy judgment is important. So these are some of the things that you can remember in it. Then I think as far as for the women is concerned, we have covered some 4 positive and 4 negative points. Now we shall look into the some other aspect. Now the second, let me change the color of my pen to look good. Let it be elderly. So how the technology is impacting the elderly population of our society. So again, we have certain benefits which are coming to the elderly population, certain negative aspects. So firstly, it has promoted the improved communication by video conferencing, video calling, and messaging apps like WhatsApp and some other applications. Like, so we have video messaging, WhatsApp. So this has actually promoted the connectivity. What it has done, this connectivity, it has promoted the connectivity with flexibility. So it is the first thing that they have done. Is secondly, improved access to information. Now with digital technology, information access has improved. So information access with regard to like information, news, everything is getting at disposal of elderly. So they are getting more engaged into it. Learning ebooks are there. Then cuisines are there. Then there are various digital services which are rising, and there is also the concept of silver economy, which caters to the need of the elderly. So rise of silver economy. So we can mention silver economy here. Then better health monitoring, like we have wearable devices. So better health monitoring. How we are doing it? Wearable devices. We are also having that telemedicine facility. So it has actually improved their way of living, but at the same time it has also caused certain challenges to them. Firstly, not they are very much acquainted with these technologies, so their adoption into this structure is still low. So adoption to digital setup is low, and which is causing loneliness and isolation. So it is resulting into isolation plus loneliness. Then secondly, they are also sometimes under threat of privacy concern, because they are not that well acquainted with technology. So sometimes there is some frauds which take place. They are cyber crime. Their monies from their accounts are being taken away by fraud. So online frauds are quite rampant with old age population. Then there is also the digital divide. Is they quite seen in India. Digital divide is quite rampant if we look into rural and urban, and within urban, formal and informal sector. So there's a huge digital divide which take place, and these are some of the challenges which are there. Now if we come to the third aspect, uh, let me use this pen. So for the third aspect, let us it is disabled. For disabled, again there are certain positives which the technology is doing, and there are certain negatives. The positives that this service is doing is, again, access to information. So their information has been broadening up, and with this they could actually utilize various services, and they have because digital innovation is taking place, so voice recognition facilities are there. Then there are also various ways in which they could actually there's a text to speech, speech to text. Well, you just simply speak and it will type it, so that actually helps in addressing some kind of vulnerability that they face. Then secondly, it has also promoted their mobility and independence. So mobility and independence to the disabled is also increased, such as wheelchairs. These are digital wheelchairs or technologically superior wheelchairs are there. Then they also have wearable devices, especially for those who could not hear. So that is there, and there also use of the wearable devices to monitor their health. So health monitoring is also possible with wearable devices, and these wearable devices are utilizing the Internet of Things and using 5G. They are also using artificial intelligence. So these are some of the benefits which they are there. And there is again the enhanced communication which is taking place. Enhanced communication with the larger society through digital platform like Facebook. They could promote their voices. They could actually put different views to the society regarding their challenges. So these are there with the support from the technology which is doing for the disabled population. At the same time, the issue with the disabled is that they are not that economically rich, so there are issues of high costs, so it leads to exclusion. High costs of such technologies, so society does not invest on them, so it leads to kind of exclusion problem is there. Then again, accessibility, you can always club under it. Accessibility is there, accessibility challenge, because exclusion is there, so accessibility is again naturally comes into it. Then there's also the challenge of they are not well they are not well properly trained into this how to use it properly, so it also creates a kind of poor digital literacy, poor know-how of technologies, poor literacies or know-how. So these create actually problem, know-hows. So these are some of the things that are there. Now for tribals, let's see for the tribals also. In case of tribals, we shall look into what are the positives that the technology is creating and what are the challenges that the system poses to them. So the positives for the tribals are, and the negative for the tribals are as follows. The positive is that it has again improved access to information. You can very well see that there are certain similarities between the two. Okay, improved access to information in terms of geotagging, online market. So they could actually access the online market. Various tribal products are now sold through online market like Amazon, Flipkart. Okay, then their economic opportunities have increased. Economic opportunities have increased. So economic opportunities have increased. It will actually promote better inclusion, economic growth. So better inclusion, economic growth is will be promoted. and at the same time it will promote their preservation of culture. Preservation of culture, because of some technologies they could actually preserve, because they could convert their oral tradition into documents, oral tradition to documents, and these documents could be preserved for a longer period of time. So these are some of the benefits, but there are also the challenges to them. The technology is creating a threat to their traditional way of life, threat to traditional way of life. How it is creating threat to their traditional way of life? It is creating threat to their traditional way of life because it can alter their ways of living, their unique cultural practices, and their values. So value system, practices which they have historically been following since many generations could be actually eroded over time, Then there is also the issue of environmental degradation, because the use of technology may also cause the environmental degradation to take place. So environmental degradation is there, and this can actually lead to because they are disproportionately more impacted by environmental degradation, because they are dependent on natural resources, so their life will get substantially impacted. So environmental degradation, natural resource dependence, dependency will get impacted. Also, since they are not that well prone to the technology, so there could be some kind of cyber crime against them, or they may be unequal access to technology, or we can say technological divide. So there are technological divide, we can write. Okay, so these are the obviously there also the issue of literacy is there, especially digital literacy, how to well utilize these technologies and things like that. So these are some of the challenges with regard to tribals. Now we shall also look into the last point that we have written here is children. So how children are impacted with our system like this. So for children, again we have some positives and we have some negatives. And the positive for children is that it is promoting the enhanced learning that they are able to participate through e-learning platform, through digital apps. So e-learning, then digital apps. So these are promoting their overall literacy level. Secondly, they are becoming more creative because of the information that they have at their disposal, and also giving a way to self-expression. Okay, so this is there. So software, video editing, music production allow children to be creative and express themselves in a more impactful way. So animation is there, they are doing work there, animation, then music, then art, then science. So they're exploring in different dimensions, and it is good. And there's also with improved socialization. Now they can talk with diversity of people with whom they could not meet physically, so improved communication. So these are some of the positives for the children also, like they may interact with the children who are in need, or with the person who are entirely of a different culture. But at the same time there are also challenges with that. The sedentary lifestyle, and this sedentary lifestyle is creating issues of triple burden of malnutrition. So the obesity problem is there, or overweight is there. Issue of cardiovascular disease is there. So we can see that these are rising even among the children. Then there is a issue of cyberbullying, cyberbullying is there, then cyber harassment, cyber sexual harassment, and at the same time they're also threat to emotional distress. Emotional distress because sometimes like blue whale challenge, where there were few sites which were later banned by Maharashtra State High Court. So blue whale challenge. So these have created a problem. Then also virtual socialization. Virtual socialization has actually impacted their physical relation, their health, especially physical and mental, in a negative way, and their overall personality development, which require the comprehensive discussion, psychological development and well-being, which requires a whole lot of peer learning, which is physical broadly, so which is there. And also there are also the cases of rising sexual harassment, violence. So violence, sexual harassment, especially girl child, so, and hate speech. So these are the broader challenges that the society is facing with the emerging technologies. So in this particular session we have tried to cover all the dimensions which are required. Women we have covered, elderly we have covered, then disabled, then tribals, and then children. So all these five we have covered, and we have looked into both pros and cons. Ultimately we can conclude that despite there are certain pros and cons, technology is just a means. So the end result will depend upon how we use it. So technology is just a tool. Technology is what? It's just a tool. So the impact that technology will have depends upon how well and mindfully we utilize it. How well and mindfully we utilize it. So the impact of technology on us will depend on our own application of technology and how well we utilize it, not on the nature of technology, because technology itself is not a negative aspect, but it's a very positive and augmentative, and it promotes the overall productivity and well-being, given it is utilized in a well and a very mindful way. So this is where we can conclude with this particular session. If you have any comments, you can very well comment on the comment section. Thank you.